Hello everybody and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather event, and our new high resolution futurecast has just been so consistent on the month. Well, we don't know if it's on the money yet, do we? It hadn't happened. We're not there yet, but it's just so consistent. And this is the latest run of it during the overnight, and you can see that according to the legend, those amounts are very, very small across northern and northeastern Arkansas. I even have doubts flakes fly here in Little Rock. It's possible, but if they fall, I just don't think it'll accumulate. A dusting to, at best, a half an inch, in my opinion, across those areas of darker gray in northeastern and north central Arkansas. If you've seen the SchoolCon index, I have put that at a very, very low number. In fact, I think schools will be open. It's going to be a very cold and windy day, but this is coming in. And Ryan Vaughn sent out a tweet, a good friend of mine up in northeastern Arkansas, brought up a good point. Generally, if the snow comes in from the north, that's not how we get our good snows. You need those Gulf of Mexico lows to develop out there in the northern or western Gulf, and for them to track east-northeastward and keep the cold air locked in place and throw the moisture on top of it. And this is just not happening. That's not how this is unfolding. But in this video, I'm going over what's happening here for tonight, and then tomorrow, and then down the road. And I got a couple of things I want to show you. But that's, again, our high-resolution futurecast that's new. So there you go. That's the best we can do for you, dusting to half an inch. All right, now wind chill temperatures when you wake up in the morning, tomorrow morning, are going to be very, very cold. This is going to be a shot of cold air. But with the lack of high latitude blocking, this is in and out, so that there's nothing to keep the cold air in place. So the wind chill temperatures are going to be down into the single digits and teens across the state for your Thursday, but then the warm-up begins. Now, let's hope that I did this correctly, because I may not have done this. No, of course I didn't put these in order. Here we go. Now I have. Upper air pattern. These are courtesy of weatherbell.com. Let me resize this just a little bit. Of course I didn't put these in order. But these are the things I want to show you what's going to be happening for the weekend. You're looking at 500 millibar geopotential heights. And what I want to just convey to you and to communicate to you is the upper air pattern. You see the United States here. Alaska is up in here. Here's Canada. Where you see the reds, that's ridging. And the purples, that's ridging. Where you see the greens, that's where you're seeing troughing. So you got a large trough of low pressure out here in the eastern portions of the Pacific. If you know what I always talk about here on the Arkansas Weather Blog, you want to see ridging up here, because that taps into the cold air and delivers it south. So this is going to make Alaska quite cold. So when Alaska's cold, we warm up. When Alaska warms up, we get cold. So it's just a matter of where this air is going. And that's why you see a lot of these crazy tweets out there. It's colder here than it is in Alaska. Well, because that's how we get cold air, because it comes south. But anyway, so you're getting troughing out here, and what this is going to do is just blast. I can't even begin to tell you. See, there's Hawaii. You're going to get a fetch of moisture aiming right at Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, and you're going to hear about some incredible rainfall amounts. But this is a jet that's just going to slam the West Coast, the northern portions of the West Coast. Dry here. There's ridging, too much ridging in place here across Southern California, but it's going to be aimed up towards the north. And whenever you see that Pacific jet just blasting, look at the ridging here. So you'll get flooded with mild Pacific air. So this is a very warm pattern for the weekend, and I think temperatures are going to go in the 60s, maybe to near 70 degrees this weekend, especially with the downsloping off the Rocky Mountains. All the cold air is out here. New England will be cold. But yeah, you're looking at the middle portion and western portion of the country, very much on the mild side. But as we have seen this winter, those patterns don't last all that long. Let me see if I got this correct. No, of course, like I said, they're out of order. Now, let's see if I got this in order. Okay, so this is 192 hours out on February the 12th. Now, what you see here, and this is in order, and you can't take this literally, but you have troughing right here, but you notice the ridging is starting to build up the West Coast. I'd like to see this a little bit further towards the west, and that may actually happen. But you want to see this tapping more into Alaska. But this is going to bring in a northwesterly wind flow. The cold air is going to be directed into the eastern United States with this sort of pattern. but some of it will get into the central portions of the country. We'll see how this unfolds, but the thing I want to show you is that Pacific fire hose gets erased and ridging starts to take place. And then this is 384 hours. So you're looking at the GFS. This is the control run of the ensembles, by the way. And so you're not looking at the operational GFS. But you see ridging taking place here. And it's kind of a weird look. But yeah, there's some ridging here. And that can deliver some shots of cooler air towards the south. But you see this jet undercutting that. So this could bring a stormy pattern. Not necessarily snowy. But this could bring in an active weather pattern by the middle to end of the month, but we want to see more ridging up here to deliver those cold shots. So that's the best I can do for you. Now let me show you. This is the upper air pattern, and again we have this new high-tech. I don't know what to call it. It is high-tech, but it's a new graphics system here that I think is state-of-the-art and it's the best around, and we can do so many different things with it. But this is the upper air pattern. Again, this is the operational GFS, and I just want to show you and point out to you again, whoops, can't do that. There's Alaska right here. There's the lower 48, Arkansas. You see this ridging taking place? That's why we're getting these cold shots in here. Boy, very cold air right in here. You see that? That's a big trough. You see the ridging here, and cold shots are directed down the plains, but they're in and out. So let's go and take this into motion. And you see the timestamp. Let's go into the weekend. So now you see troughing here. That ridging is cut off. You see troughing here, and there's the jet aimed. This is Saturday morning, 8:30, but you see the jet aimed from Hawaii all the way into the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. As I was telling you, you want to see ridging all the way up here, and that's not taking place. You have a trough, and I'm just telling you, they're going to get a tremendous amount of moisture. This operational GFS only goes out to 5 days here, but you can see that relaxes, and you start to see some resemblance of a ridge trying to build back by next week, and you see some troughing trying to take place here. So it looks like we may have a warm weekend, and then some cooler shots, not cold, but cooler shots of air start to come in, and by the middle to end of the month, maybe a stormy, more of an active weather pattern. Now, I'm not saying it's going to snow, but maybe the weather pattern will get a little bit more active. I bloviated it again for 5 minutes, or 7.5 minutes. Let me see if I can go back to this. See, I'm always trying new things to show you graphics. So there it is tonight, a dusting to a 1/2 inch at best across those areas of northern Arkansas. I think you're going to see a band of snow that will come in from Missouri, and it's going to be directed just like that. Can flakes fly in central Arkansas? I'm not going to rule it out, but you can obviously accumulations just that aren't happening. But it's going to be cold and windy tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.